Good morning, student from Winnebago Public School. Go Big Blue!
The Bago news team got a chance to go to KMEG Fox 44 TV station in Sioux City and take a tour. We got to see all the equipment they use and what goes on into making a successful newscast. We even got to play around with the green screen and practice our meteorologist skills. It's not easy being a news anchor or part of the news staff, waking up at 4 in the morning and working long hours at times. KMEG Fox 44 also does more than just news. They also do commercials for other businesses and other forms of advertising and marketing through their creative services department. Huge thanks to KMEG and Fox 44 for having us.
In local news, the commodity distribution building has received a facelift. The process for distribution has also changed. Jayla and Mackenzie have the scoop.
The commod building here in Winnebago went through some recent renovations. It's a new direction for the food distribution. They used to have the clients make a list of what they need, then they would gather the food for them. But now you can walk around as if it were a store and gather your own things. Everyone likes it so far. Here's Wally Earth with more information.
We started up front with the store. Now we're gonna move back here, redo these floors, change the heating up there, because that's a heating line up there, so whoever's on that lift and we bring in new food, they gotta watch it. We got cameras up, so you guys are on cameras back here because of the vault, the cheese vault. Like I say, you gotta show your badge to go in that cooler to get that cheese out. But no, I'm just teasing. But yeah, that's it. So next time you guys come, if you come, you're gonna see a whole new store concept, a warehouse, I should say. All this to make it better, just serve the clients.
Winnebago's first speech meet this year took place on January 27th at Bancroft Rosalie. 15 high school students attended and 3 went to finals for oral interpretation of drama. The students that participated in OID were Katie Hansen, Toby Bassett, and Laura Neff. In the film footage, Laura Neff is absent and Jatana McClelland is taking her place.
You may be wondering what exactly speech team is. We caught up with Mrs. Broch, who co-coaches the team with Miss Luce. Here's what she said.
Well, speech team is a competitive event in which students have the opportunity to participate in 9 events. Each student can be in up to 2. The 9 events really quickly are they're interpretive events, which are events like poetry, oral interpretation of drama, which is a group event, duet acting, humorous and serious prose, and then there are more straightforward public speaking events like persuasive, informative, entertainment, and extemporaneous. And students are students who are involved prepare a speech ahead of time, and then they deliver the same speech at all of the events. Typically what happens is students will be assigned a certain time. They'll go into a classroom at a school, they'll deliver their speech in front of a judge and maybe a few other competitors, and then the students that have the best scores go to the finals, and it's scored from there. Students are often get medals and trophies, and teams get trophies. It's kind of like a track meet in a way. Everybody has an individual event, but then it all goes to the team total.
Valentine's Day is coming up, and we're just going around asking people, asking students, what's their ideal date, like if you take her out somewhere nice. What would yours be?
Head to the Bonanza.
I think my ideal date would be like watching our favorite shows and eating snacks, like nothing important.
Probably just go to a movie, maybe go somewhere to eat, pretty nice, and that's probably it.
My ideal date would probably be going out to eat with my husband. We like to go out to eat. We like food. We're not exactly foodies, but we like food.
Legit, just like Bonanza?
No, I'm just kidding. Nothing. Not doing much.
Not
just hanging out.
Hanging out,
Yeah.
that's nice.
You don't want to go out on Valentine's Day. It's so busy. If you're gonna go out, you gotta go out like on the weekend, around Valentine's Day.
My ideal date would be going on a movie, then just go to McDonald's afterwards and go to a park and just have fun. Just a relaxing time. It's nothing extravagant, just it's nice.
Yeah.
Idea of an ideal date for Valentine's would be to find the man of my dreams, which would probably be my husband, and I would want him to bring me some flowers, take me out for dinner, and I would like to go to Fuji Bay because I love Chinese.
I think for the day of New Year's and it's on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And like, so if you were to take your wife out on a date, what would it be? Like, what would you guys do? Basically, what the question is, like, what's your ideal date?
Take her to Bo, probably get some chicken. Turn that off.
The Winnebago wrestling team is in its third year of action. The team boasts many successes, but one stands out. Senior Darrell Zagorski bagged his 100th win. We spoke to both him and Coach Tramer. Here's what they had to say.
This year we've got 13 kids out. We got the last week here is districts, and it's going really well. We've got a lot of freshmen, which is really nice to see. So it's just growing and it's getting better. From the beginning of the season, I believe we've improved a lot. There's a couple kids that have really gotten a lot better from the first time that they walked on the mat. When you look at 12 of the kids that are on the team are all freshmen, it's kind of nice to see the growth with those guys. Even the upperclassmen have gotten a lot better. I thought it was pretty amazing to have a kid do that in less than 3 years. Is exactly like scoring 1,200 points in a basketball game. You got to look at it that way. It's pretty exciting to have something like that happen here. With only 3 years of wrestling, he'd never wrestled before. So he does all the stuff in the off season. He goes to camps. He goes to the Morningside Academy. He qualified for national teams wrestling in the off season in the summer, and I think that's has to do with a lot of why he's so successful. He's bought into the process. He's taking everything and using everything we work on, and he wants it, and I think that's a big deal too.
Technique, more skill, just overall everything. 100th win. It's a great accomplishment. It feels good.
Darrell has also become the first ever Winnebago wrestler to make it to state. State wrestling begins Thursday and Friday at 9:30 a.m. Congrats and good luck to Darrell.
The girls' Lewis and Clark Conference Tournament began January 27, 2018 in Hartington, Newcastle. The Lady Indians matched up against the Bloomfield Queen Bees. The Lady Indians won 65-28. On January 30th, 2018, the Lady Indians traveled to Creighton to take on the #1 seed, Hartington, Newcastle. The halftime score was tied at 40-40, but the Lady Indians fell short 53-56. Now, the Lady Indians are looking towards sub-districts on February 12, 2018, and districts February 23rd, 2018.
Winnebago Indians boys basketball team made a run to the conference championship. The Indians started their road with a win against Emerson Hubbard in the first round, 79-29. They went on to beat Creighton in the second round, 71-41. In the semifinals, Montevideo Cleveland went off for 41 points against Osmond as the Indians defeat the Tigers 74-57. Indians then fell short against Ponca in the Lewis and Clark finale and came away with conference runner-up. Good job, Indians, and good luck in districts.
In national news, 2018 is shaping up to be one of the most violent for school shootings. Nearly a dozen have been reported in the first month of the year. Teton reports on this alarming trend.
There have been 10 other shootings on school grounds so far this year, resulting in 3 other deaths. 2018 has already seen 13 mass shootings, an incident in which 4 or more people are shot or killed, not including the shooter, according to the Gun Violence Archive. Here's the list of school shootings that happened just during the last week of January. January 22nd, 2018, the new charter school in New Orleans, Louisiana. Someone driving by the school fired on a group of students in the parking lot. Only one boy was injured.
Continue to search for the person responsible for a shooting at a high school in Gentilly.
It happened yesterday afternoon outside Net Charter School on Franklin Avenue. Lauren Bale has more on what the school is doing to keep students safe.
In the wake of a shooting outside Net Charter School, residents are questioning their safety and school officials are working to update security measures. Police say a truck drove by the school and fired 3 shots at a group of students. One student was hospitalized for an abrasion and 2 others are under investigation after one tested positive for gunshot residue and another had live ammunition.
January 22nd, 2018, Italy High School in Italy, Texas, a 16-year-old boy shot a 15-year-old girl in the cafeteria.
It was a terrifying morning for students and parents alike. Just before the start of the school day, a 16-year-old boy opened fire with a semi-automatic handgun in the Italy ISD cafeteria, shooting a 15-year-old girl 6 times.
January 23rd, 2018, Marshall County High School in Benton, Kentucky. A 15-year-old boy opened fire inside the school, killing 2 and injuring 16. Law enforcement said that the victims who were injured ranged from ages 14 to 18, including one special needs student who was shot in the arm. His arm may now need to be amputated.
According to Lieutenant Michael Webb with the Kentucky State Police, this strikes to the heart of Kentucky. We know from the governor that 2 people have died. 1 person succumbed to injuries here at the scene. 1 was transferred to the hospital where he later died of his injuries. There is some dispute about the number of people who were injured. The governor and the officials said here at the school board the number of people who were injured was 19, 14 injured by gunshot wounds, others who were injured in the panic subsequent to the shootings. The Associated Press is now saying that some 17 people were injured. We're looking for clarity on that number. We do know that the suspected shooter is 15 years old. He had a handgun. The motive for the shooting is unknown. However, state police say even in a small town like this, the students were prepared for a mass shooting. Now, in that high school, there's an atrium adjacent to the cafeteria where students generally gather before the first bell. According to the timing of when the calls came in, it sounds like the shooting occurred just before that first bell. And according to some people who were inside of the school, third-party information anyway, that atrium area, that area where the students gather, is where the shots first rang out. Now, Governor Matt Bevin said today that this is a wound that will not heal for some time. And in fact, he said for some people, it will never heal.
During the early hours of January 23rd, a magnitude 7.9 earthquake occurred off the coast of Alaska. Not long after this, a tsunami warning was issued to people along the coast of Alaska and the U.S. and Canadian West Coast. People received phone and television alerts. The earthquake happened around 12:30 in the morning, and waves were expected to hit the nearest piece of land, Kodiak Island, around 1:45. Kodiak police started to notice receding waters around 2:30 and told residents to stay put until further information was given. The National Weather Service confirmed that a tsunami would take place. Fortunately, the only recorded waves were around 4/10 to 7/10 of a foot high. These recordings were all taken along the Alaskan coastline. At about 8 that morning, all tsunami warnings were canceled because additional information and analysis had better defined the threat, according to the National Tsunami Warning Center. Although San Francisco still took precautionary measures and told residents to remain away from shores for at least 12 hours. Luckily, this tsunami was a false alarm because it could have led to disastrous flooding and millions to billions of dollars of damage. Speaking of disastrous floods, about 7 years ago, Missouri River dams released record amounts of water to prevent overflow resulting in floods downriver. The reason for possible overflow was mostly due to the record rain and snowfalls in Montana and Wyoming. The flood was expected to last from June to August of 2011. Because we knew the flood was going to take place, people near the river began to take precautionary measures. One such group of people were those of the Winnebago Casino. On May 3rd, the Winnebago Casino began building a 9-foot sand wall around the facility in hopes to protect it from 4 to 6 feet of water. Sandbags were also placed around key features such as wells and power transformers. They did not expect to stay open during the flood, but still wanted to preserve their beloved facility. During that time, meetings were taking place discussing what to do during the flood. Luckily, Claudine Cohen attended these meetings. thinking of a way to keep the business open, she remembered something very important. She previously lived in Bago, Wisconsin, about 20 miles away from the Wisconsin Dells. Within the Wisconsin Dells is a famous attraction along with many others. This attraction is the Wisconsin Dells duck boats. She suggested the use of these boats, and those at the meeting went with it. After being closed for 40 days and 40 nights, the Winnebago casino was open for business. 2 duck boats were operated in a continuous loop going back and forth between the edge of the floodwater and the casino. Tickets to cross in a duck boat cost about $10, but those who bought one received a $10 coupon for the casino. Floodwaters began receding early July, and when they finally returned to their normal positions in the river, the Winnebago's casino duck rides were no more.
Today, as you know, is Valentine's Day. Daniel's Diner is cooking up something special.
What are they cooking up now? What's cooking?
Good morning and welcome to Daniel's Diner. As you all know, Valentine's Day is coming up. Time to show all those you love just how much you love them. One surefire way is with this decadent treat, strawberry cheesecake. Now first, let's start with the crust. Start with 1 1/4 cup of graham crackers and 1/4 cup of butter, which is like 5 tablespoons. And you go to melt that. And then 3 tablespoons of sugar, and then you mix them together. Okay, so now you take your graham crackers and pour it in this thing that you're using. And then you pour your butter, and then you do the sugar. Oh, I need 3 tablespoons of sugar. And then mix it up. After it's all mixed up, you can spread it out evenly, and then when you're done doing that, you can put it in the fridge to chill for 30 minutes. Next, for the filling part, we're gonna start with the strawberries. We're gonna pour 1 1/4 cup of strawberries into this blender thing, and then we're gonna do a tablespoon of cornstarch. And then we're going to mix that up, and then we're going to boil it. Blend it till it's smooth. Now we're going to start with the cream cheese filling. We're going to do 3 packages of cream cheese, and then pour it into there, and put it in there. Now we gotta mix it up till it's smooth.
Oh, just this one, not putting the milk in? Yeah, you do it.
See that? It's getting smooth. Oh, okay. Now we're gonna add 1/3 cup of sugar to it. And almost 1/3 cup of lemon juice. Now we're gonna add some of our strawberries that we've made from earlier into it. It's about enough. And we're gonna mix it. Alright, you put your cheesecake filling into the graham cracker crust, and then after you're done doing that, you can put it in the oven at 325 for 55 to 65 minutes. We're baking for 58 minutes, or around 58 minutes. You can Take it out of the oven, put it on a cooling rack, and cool it for like an hour or two. And after it's done cooling, and you can put it in the fridge overnight. And whenever you're ready to eat it, put some frozen or fresh strawberries on the top, and you're done.
That's our broadcast for February 14th, 2018. Have a safe and happy Valentine's Day. Join us next month for Bago News.
5.